Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I will be using this Janet Collection hair to show you guys how to make a temple lace frontal wig. So I already attached the frontal to the wig head and I'm going to begin sewing. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the needle and go through the lace and the mesh of the dome cap, not the elastic band, which is why I'm taking my time on this part. And I'm going to take the thread and pull the needle through the thread on the first initial loop. And also you want to make sure that your hair is out of the way because I was struggling right here, so I went ahead and pinned the hair back some more. Now that the hair is pinned back, we're going to continue sewing. So we're going to keep looping. Ignore the fact that I turned my needle the other way. I don't know what was going through my head, but you want to sew the same way. And what I do is I take the thread and loop it around twice. And this will make sure that your sewing is tight. Now I don't do this every time I loop through, but I'll do it maybe every 4 or 5 loops, or just whenever I feel like I need to. So since this is a temple lace frontal and it's not a frontal, I'm having to go along these edges that they have on the frontal. So you're doing nothing different from as you would if you were sewing a closure. However, it's just a little bit different technique when it comes sewing this down, just because it's not a closure or a frontal. It's a temple lace frontal, so you want to make sure that this is laid down flat and well enough so that it lays flat on your head. So we are going to continue this process all the way around, and like I said, you can loop the thread around the needle twice, as many times as you feel, to make sure that the frontal is secured to the dome cap. Once I start reaching halfway, I like to cut the thread and start a new one. I just feel that it helps whatever you're sewing down, whether it's a frontal or a closure, more secure to the dome cap. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I'm done sewing the frontal on, and as you can see, I just went along the back of the frontal, or technically went along the back of the closure and the edges. And now I'm going to cut off the excess lace and continue with the process. So first I'm going to start sewing the first bundle, and I'm going to attach this first bundle to the side, or near the back, but the side of the frontal. And we want to do this because we don't want any gaps or space, so that when we put it on our head, you can't see any of the wig cap, and it's just a clean, clear transition from the frontal to the bundles. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the frontal. I'm going to take the needle and loop that through the inside of the thread on our first loop, and we're going to continue sewing like we would on any traditional wig. When we pull on the thread, we want to make sure that it's tight as can be, so that there won't be any gaps in the wig, like I mentioned before. And then we're going to keep sewing. I do have the bundles pinned to the wig head so that it makes it easier. It makes it a lot easier, you guys, whenever you pin your bundles to your wig head, because you're not struggling to hold up the bundle or anything like that, and it makes my process so much faster. And we're just going to continue sewing like a traditional sew-in. So I sewed all the way to the other front side of the frontal, attaching it to that side. And what I'm going to do is this technique that I learned from Erica J on her channel. And what she does is she takes the top weft, because I do double weft, and I'm going to take the top bundle and I'm going to just sew that one down. And this helps the flip over method not be so bulky. So I'm going to sew this down maybe twice, And then I'm going to pick up the second bundle and attach it and keep sewing. So you'll see here, after I sew this next one, I'm going to pick up the second bundle or second weft and continue sewing like I was before. And as you can see, it's much flatter than you taking both of the bundles and sewing them at the same time. Now that I'm reaching the top, I'm going to start making this look neat by sewing a weft directly across from one side of the frontal to the other. Now the reason why I had to do this is because I was scraping to make this wig work because the hair was so thin, you guys. The hair was so thin, I almost did not think that I was going to be able to get this wig together, but I happened to be able to make it work. Now it does look a little bit transparent in some spots, but that is because the dome cap is black. Now if you're going to keep this hair blonde, I definitely recommend you to use a blonde dome cap, but I do plan on dyeing this hair, so that's why I'm using a black one. But yeah, this hair is very thin, so I would recommend you buying more than what comes in the pack. So I'm pretty close to the top. I didn't have much hair left. I promise you guys, I thought I was going to have to keep this like this, but I had enough hair to make it work. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking this weft. I'm going to sew this along the frontal just to make everything look seamless and as a one, so that whenever you want to move your frontal around, you don't see any gaps in the back. Okay, so this is the finished look. As you can see, it looks seamless and as a one. Like I did mention before, you do want to use a blonde dome cap if you are going to keep this hair blonde. And this is how everything came out. It looks so good, you guys. I was actually happy that I made this work with this very thin hair. I did do an initial review on this hair, so if you want to go check that out and see where I got this hair from, go click on that video. But yeah, this is how it came out. I also did dye this hair, so if you want to see how I dyed this hair, it came out so beautiful, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.